Hello and welcome to one more episode of our playthrough of Ultana, the Vindicator, the Shaman and Inquisitor, blessed by Otos, the Shepherd of Storms. So, on our last episode, we did some main things for Homestead, so we're going to be talking with Captain Summer right here and telling her that we destroyed the abomination, and she's also going to be asking us to save some farmers that were kidnapped by the cult of Cthulhu. So we are going to be finally starting to hunt cultists out there. Right here, we're going to be talking to Douglas and telling him that the rapture cycle has been disrupted, and that if the... Look at this, this was beautiful. It was an accent, but a beautiful accent. A happy accident. There are no mistakes, only little happy accidents. And we tell Douglas that the cycle is disrupted, ask about the future of Devil's Crossing, is going to say something about the lines, if the farmers can work, then everything's going to be fine. Right here is Dayla Thornsbury. We can give her diary back, and she's going to ask you just for asking if we read something or if we didn't. Well, let's just lie and say that we didn't. I don't know how good or how bad of a liar Ultana actually is. And you see these two guys right here, the brother Motair and Haruf. If you... well, you already saw that Ogrin has an exclamation point, but actually if you try to leave right here, which is the direction you need to go to face the cultists, you're going to see this footman who is going to be telling you to go see Ogrin. 1 second. Okay, so we are back. And as you can see right here, the way north, we now have to speak with Ogrin. You could also just have skipped that pass. I just wanted to show you that the game is going to pigeonhole you into talking to Ogrin. So he tells us that he needs us to decide if we are going to be joining the Black Legion with the Kaimon's Chosen or with the Order of Death's Vigil. Now, on our first playthrough with Erasmus, we chose the Order of Death's Vigil. Ultana is a Vindicator, which means she's also an Inquisitor. So I'm going to be going with the brother Motair, with the Kaimon's Chosen this time. First, I just want to show you guys the dialogue that you get from the Necromancer. An Inquisitor? I am under the impression this was to be an amicable gathering. I am Haruf and I represent the Order of Death's Vigil, but I'm not sure there's much as to discuss. But we can tell him, I was hoping we could be allies. You would hope to undo decades of persecution in one moment. I'm not sure that's possible. True, but we must start somewhere. Perhaps, but with Kaimon's Chosen at our doorstep and the enemies of humanity all around us, how can we afford to take such a risk? Father Kaimon himself was an Inquisitor once. Why should my brothers and sisters trust you? Much has changed. Humanity must unite against our enemies. You do speak truth. We may have to swallow our pride and try and find common ground in these trying times. Very well. I cannot promise you a warm greeting, but we can try and work together. And we can say, I think I've made my decision, and click to work with the Necromancers. So this is the whole thing I've been telling you guys all about. Even if you are a fucking bloody Inquisitor. The Necromancers are reasonable. They are going to be working with you. They are not a bunch of dicks that just look at your class and are like, no, I'm not even going to be talking to you. If this was not a neutral ground, you'd be killed. It honestly makes me want to go with the Necromancers, even though Ultana is an Inquisitor. Even though I want to show you guys the Inquisitor side this time, it makes me want to go with the Necromancers. Because the Necromancers are not a bunch of fanatical dicks. So I'm going to tell him with my heavy heart, I'll need more time to think this through, and just because I want to show you guys the other side this time, I'm going to be talking with the Kaimon's Chosen, and I'm going to be choosing them. So, for example, if you talk to the Necromancers, they're going to be telling you about the Kaimon's Chosen, that Kaimon's Chosen are a bunch of fanatics that adore a non-existent god, which is Empyrean. I'm not completely sure about the existence of Empyrean or not, but they are kind of respectable. They don't just straight up tell you we have to eliminate them. The Necromancers are kind of fighting them for survival, actually. But if you talk with the Kaimon's Chosen, look what this dick is talking about. They are abominations that twist the divine threads of life to their will as they were playthings. The Order is a plague upon this world, much like the Pharaohs and Caphonians. In order for Cairn to heal, they must be purged. Like, what the fuck? Are you thinking this is like Warhammer 40k? Why? Why do you have to be such a dick? The world is ending. Can you be nice for once? I hate these guys. But well, warriors who wage battle with physical fire and lightning will fit right in. What does Ultana does best? Physical and lightning damage. And Ultana is an Inquisitor. So, yeah. I'm going to be choosing these guys to show you guys how is the other side. I'm so fucking sorry, my Necromancer brothers. But I'm Necromancer at heart, but I'm going to be going with this stupid fanaticals. Now, another thing that I want you guys to just realize is the name of this guy, Brother Motar, okay? Just put it in your mind. We tell him that we're going to be going with them. Unfortunately, I'm now despised with Death Order's Vigil. I'm not even going to talk with Haruv. I love Haruv. I love this character. He's just like my brother. But he's now going to be my enemy, kinda. There's 2 side quests that you can get. One here and one here. Since I know to where we are going to get to go on this episode, I'm going to be getting only this side quest. This side quest is going to be asking us to honor the dead, to find the fallen, the insignias from the fallen Black Legions. The Black Legion soldiers that have died in combat with the cultists, and trying to explore the region. And we are also going to solemnly ignore whatever message has found its way to my cell phone. So here we are in the fallow fields going to the Sorrow's Bastion, and I really love the design of this place. This place is just like a big Halloween zone, and I love Halloween, so there's no way in earth, heaven or hell that I would not just fall in love with this place. So let's go kind of exploring this place. There's a bunch of paths you can actually do through here. This place is not a small one by any means, and we gotta find a certain rift gate, not too far from here, but far enough. So now that you saw what Fallow Fields and Sorrow's Bastion is going to have to offer us, I'm actually going to give a little bit of a pause. Oh, you know what? Forget that. We are already in Sorrow's Bastion and the Rift Gates are right here. I was going to make a little pause just to put us back in the Rift Gate, but we are already here. And if you allied yourself with the bunch of dicks in white, the white dicks, then you can get into this fort. And here's Kaimon's Sanctuary. Now, remember what I told you guys to remind ourselves of the name of that fucker, the emissary? it was Brother Molter. This guy is Brother Eluvius.
May the light of Empyrean guide your
Are,
path.
you are the one the Legion sent? You are later than I've expected. You wanted to speak with me? If you wish to prove yourself to the chosen of Kaimon, then first I require proof of your purity of spirit. Shows that you are not aligned with the force of void. And then he asks us to get the seals of binding, and they tell us that they are going to be burning the Chthonic seals of binding. This is something interesting between the two factions. The Kaimon's chosen ask us to collect the Chthonic seals of binding because they want to destroy it. So it's like they are getting a resource and just wasting it. The necromancers ask us to gather those to revive one of the most prominent of their members, which is Malkdar. So it's like the necromancers are all about intellect and knowledge and making the most of everything, while the Kaimons are kind of like they have a blindfold of just, no, we have our stupid religion and we don't want to like explore anything else. And if you talk right here with Brother Onox, I have witnessed firsthand the atrocities of the Order of Death's Vigil. You cannot unsee a man having the bones torn out of his body and made servant of godless heathens. What happened? I was on patrol of Brother Hammond when we stumbled upon a lone necromancer. And okay, he tells us that his brother Hammond, another one of them, was killed by necromancers and it was turned into a reggaeton skeleton immediately. But the thing is, you can talk with anyone here and you are not going to find Brother Molter. Instead, you are only going to find a bunch of fanaticals, all of them telling that the necromancers must be all killed just because they make something that is a perversion of nature and everything else. But none of these guys are Brother Molter. Later we are going to get a dialogue with one of the characters that actually tells us that Brother Molter has been killed on his way back from Homestead to here. Now I want to remind you, all of you, that Haruv, the emissary that we talked to back on Homestead by the part of the necromancers, keeps himself alive all the time. Haruv is not going to die. Haruv is not a fucking piece of shit that dies on that small pathway from like Homestead back home. Haruv is a fucking awesome guy. He's not just any piece of shit blinded by their stupid religion and a god that might not even exist. Like, how are you going to ally yourself with a bunch of crap that cannot even defend themselves? I cannot respect the Kaimon's chosen, man. Right here, I came exactly here because there's this interesting situation. There's a girl that is tied to a pyre, and they are about to burn her. Let's see what's happening here. Stay back. We've got ourselves a taken to burn. Are you sure? She doesn't look like a taken to me. Her eyes are not glowing as everyone that is possessed, and she doesn't have transformations in her body. If you watched my previous playthrough, we even talked to a possessed person. We know exactly how their face looks. Their eyes are always glowing with ether. And on Darius' glowing note, he also states that the emissaries that the Furios sent to him were like humans, but with their eyes glowing green. She's not a Taken. She's not a fucking Taken. So we ask this guy to wait a little bit while we talk to the Taken first. Relia is her name. And we're going to ask her, why did they think you're Taken? And she's going to tell us that these peasants saw ether fire and immediately think it must be an Ephiros doing. Arcanists have been wielding the ether for centuries, but nowadays you might as well tie your own noose if you're a practitioner of the arcane. And we can ask her, then what are you? These farmers wouldn't know a Taken if it walked on them fornicating with a goat. So she basically just straight up to their faces call them goat fuckers. I love Relia because of this. Look, I may have dabbled in arcane here and there, maybe cursed a few mongrels for getting too touchy, but I'm not some Ephiros puppet. So if we ask her, how do I know you're telling the truth? We get this piece of dialogue. Relia stares at you, her eyes piercing through you. Perhaps because you of all people should know better than to accuse people of being a Taken? So somehow she knows of our secret. So let's try to make this. Let's try to talk to these guys and end this peacefully. Well, what you're waiting for? The Taken needs to burn. And we are going to tell him, leave this woman alone. Are you threatening me? You ain't on the Taken side, are ya? Step away from her. Ah, I see it now. She's bewitching you with your powers. You're just as good as a Taken. Boys, look like we've got ourselves another one. What? No, I... Forget it. And yep. You mess with Ultana, you get the lightning. So we just rescued Relia. And when we can ask her, you stare as if you knew everything about me. A little trick I pick up. You should work on that, blocking your thoughts. Not all mind readers are as benevolent as I am. And she tells that the Ephiro was rearranging our brain, and we can ask her how the peasants got the best of her. And she was working on her cauldron, saw some ether glow, and like she was working on her cauldron, they saw the ether glow and got to her before she could cast a single spell. Maybe she was not trying to kill them, because if arcanists have a bunch of spells that they can just click one key and just kill everything around them. So maybe she tried to reason with them and was caught. She's going to open her own rift gate, showing that she also knows how to mess with the arcane forces and get out of here on her own. So she's a powerful arcanist on her own merit. I have the feeling the name of this episode is going to be something like fanaticism or fanaticism kills. Okay, so here on the Blood Grove, we unfortunately now have to kill necromancers and their undead puppets if we ever meet them, and there's a bunch to be done here. First, we have the insignias of the dead soldiers to collect, and we also have some we have the Caphonic seals of binding to find here. So as you can see, things are kinda all the same way all along. Oh, here's Bulber the Bloodbinder. I always love to fight this guy, because on the first time I actually found this guy, he was kinda really hard enemy for me. Now, well, we just ran through him. Here's one of the Black Legion insignias. They are always going to be on corpses just like this. Going right here, we are going to be finding another corpse of the Black Legion, and down here you can already see from the words that showed up and from the minimap that the prisoners that Captain Summer wants us to rescue are right down in this cage. So I'm going to put them out of the cage and they're going to do just fine. I'm coming out of my cage and I've been doing just fine, but I gotta be down because I want it all. Started out with a kiss, how it ended up like this. It was only a kiss. It was only a kiss. Now I'm falling asleep and she's taking a jump. Okay, so here there's a phonic rift. We can come back here to explore later. Right here we have a ruined shrine. Now this shrine is a special one because it's going to require a material that we do not have yet. Is going to require a chthonic seal of binding. So this is precisely what I've been telling you. The chthonic seals of binding, sure, they are used by the chthonics to summon their stuff, but it is a component just like any other. It's just like if someone tells you, no, you cannot use the searing ember or you cannot use polished emeralds because that would be, I don't know, using a fire that's not Imperial's fire. It's just stupid. So right here we already collect all the insignias. We can just return to Homestead and complete everything basically in Homestead. The other quest is a quest for our faction. We don't need to do it right now. Before I return to Homestead though, I want to make my way to the next Rift Gate. So I'm going to be finding the way. I'm going to make a little cut just to save some time, and I'm going to be meeting with you guys back in a second. By the way, if you already completed the Black Legion thing, you can still collect the insignias. What you're going to do with them, I have no idea, but you can still collect them. Maybe if you play with a friend, you can drop the insignias to this friend and the friend doesn't have to come here and be looking for these corpses. So see you guys in a second. So right here, back to Homestead, we are going to be talking again to Captain Summer and to the other guy that gave us the side quest. So Captain Summer now asks us to slay Karaz, the sigil of Chthon. Oh, not you, sorry, this guy. I'm going to be talking with that one in a moment. So we give it to him, we get some XP, nice, thank you. On my way I ended up finding a Chthonian seal of binding, that's okay. Before I end this chapter, I want to show you guys a little nice thing that we have here on the Bloodgrove. I'm not going to be backtracking to that shrine on the camera, you guys already know what it is, but I want to show you guys a little secret. Right here, if you follow this little point in the map, there's a secret place. A secret place that I cracked my head for so long trying to get to this little island right here. On this little island right here, there are 3 people, and one of them is a salesman who's going to be selling you something really interesting. He also sells you the skeleton key. So if you want to just go running through the game and you don't want to be making the Caldros quest line, you could just buy the blueprint of the skeleton key right from this guy. So this is a little nice secret. There's nothing else on this island, by the way. And yeah, this episode is going to be a little bit shorter. Or is it? It doesn't have to be. We still got time. Okay. So I'm going to be making a little cut to go back in Homestead, get the side quest from that person that I almost clicked on, and I'll be back. So see you guys in a second. Okay, so we are back. You can also see here that now it's 03, which means I backtracked to the shrine and I got my devotion points. And since we get 3 devotion points once we complete the shrine in the smash and grab mode, that means that I've completed the Blind Sage constellation, and I've started the Tempest constellation, which also gives you a ton of lightning damage. And well, our build is focused, of course, on all the sorts of lightning damage. As much lightning damage as one can have. And right now we are going to complete the side quest that the person in Homestead gives us. The first time I saw this bunch of stars on the minimap, I was like, what the fuck is going on? And then it was just like to destroy these guys and everything was okay. So it's already completed. We already can just go back to the Sergeant Serif and Homestead, which is precisely what we are going to do. Now, our next thing to do is going to be to get to Karos, the sigil, I don't know how actually to pronunciate this word, I always pronounce it sigil, to Karos and eliminate him. However, this is going to be waiting us on our next episode. This episode is going to be ending right here. I hope you have enjoyed, and Ultana and I wait for you on the next episode. See you!